ODMA's mission is to create an inclusive community where all students can grow and thrive. Our goal is to open those gates up so that more people can enter.
Something that we have done in the Office of Diversity and Minority Affairs to ensure that there is a holistic review of all the applicants is we have implemented an implicit bias workshop where Dean Thomas and I talk about the different aspects of the application and how to think about things differently and take the experiences of the individuals who are applying into consideration as well.
So I went to Durham Technical Community College, graduated with a 4.0. I was very proud. And then I went to the University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill. I applied, and when I got the interview, I said, "Why are you talking to me? Like, what do you want?" He said, "We're looking for smart people we think can be good scientists. And I think you can be one." And I realized that Harvard wasn't just all the people I had in my head, because I had my own stereotypes. It wasn't all people with smoking jackets and pipes and things like that.
If you're entering into this space and you're smart enough to enter into this space, how do we make sure that the way one is looking at you and the environment that we're creating isn't this narrow space that sort of has worked for many people, right? How do we expand that to make sure that everybody feels like they're part of this space?
Our office supports various affinity groups that cater to different identities: the W.E.B. Du Bois Graduate Society, the Minority Biomedical Scientists of Harvard, Underrepresented Scholars in Neuroscience, Harvard Graduate Women in Science and Engineering, LGBTQ at GSAS, Latinx Student Association. What we see as a role is making sure that the students are able to organize the various social community building, academic as well as professional development events for members of the community.
I was very conscious of trying to understand what the experience was for current LGBTQ students and trying to find LGBTQ students to connect with. I've worked closely with leaders of the student group LGBTQ at GSAS, and one of the things we just completed was working with the Bach Center on completing a guide to LGBTQ inclusivity in the classroom as well, and making sure that that message of inclusivity is spread to the teaching sphere as well.
We can't bring people in and just say, "Oh, adjust." People need to be able to thrive, and thriving means looking at what it is that we're doing that might be sending a message that you don't belong.
Something else that has been really helpful is diversity, inclusion, and belonging workshops. So folks have the opportunity to think about their identities, their experiences, share that with each other, and think about how different or the same they are.
I think it's much more direct than it was when I was a student. Nobody was talking about those things out loud. We talk about them now, and that's important and significant change.
All different sectors, right, our PhD students enter into. We have a responsibility to make sure that there are many different voices in those positions. And if we are closing the door, then we're impacting not just us, we're impacting, all the different things that we feed into.
Thinking about your professional development ahead of time, thinking about what you want to do in the future, but then also connecting the students to alumni who have pursued different career paths to see what it's like to be in their shoes, right? To see what it's like to be in those careers, but then also to understand what you will need to prepare for those careers.
Harvard is doing a much better job at trying to understand the need to diversify itself as a way of making its excellence much more responsive to the excellences of the country itself. Not only the excellence that you find in workers' experiences, but the art world, the literary experiences of Latinx people, of African Americans, of gay and lesbian writers. These are all people who've been so crucial all the time to the development of knowledge in this country, of knowledge in the world.
ODMA helps me to do good well. We have a great team there, and where we have peers who are like they're graduate students at some of the schools in the area. and we're able to have meetings and workshop ideas, help them to hone some of their training materials for different workshops that they're doing, and things along that nature.
I think one of the best things that new students can do is to connect with student groups, because most of the student groups work pretty directly with ODMA, and that's a great way to both form community with other students as well as form a channel to have a connection with ODMA.
Harvard needs to prepare itself and help prepare the country by bringing in more and more generations of students representing all the different ethnic groups, orientations, as a way of making the future a place where people are not only well prepared to work together, but they come to understand the diverse lineages that they come from.
I think that's some of the work of the office in the graduate school right now, is to begin to push on that to ensure that all of our talented students who enter here find a path to their success, which will ultimately be successful for the university and ultimately successful for the world.
It's important to develop this pipeline to be able to make sure that individuals from underrepresented backgrounds like us, like myself, right, are able to become the next leaders, right? They're the next generation of leaders who are doing research in many different sectors, that their ideas are valued, that their ideas are good, that their ideas are heard, that these ideas are important, their perspectives, and everything that they bring with themselves is key to making sure that there is innovation and that things change over time.
A lot of this is about trying to change attitudes, right? Trying to recognize our biases, conscious or unconscious, and trying to do something, different, right? We all have something to learn.